This video is sponsored by Helix Sleep.
Now, in this film, you're gonna be left with a lot of questions and very, very little answers, but that's the beauty of it. Biggest question, what the hell is going on? What is going on? The major question, what is going on?
The story of a family who may have taken their pursuit of social media fame and fortune too far.
Popular YouTube page, DaddyOFive. The video sparked a flood of outrage.
A lot of people are really pissed off about this video because we're yelling and are crying.
I am personally concerned for these.
It is not okay to like this and just call it a prank, bruh.
It's just a prank, bruh. Making the next video more crazier than the next.
We have made some terrible parenting decisions.
Videos are fake. They're fake. We put things on the internet that should not be there.
I want you to do something a little unusual. I want you to take yourself back and imagine you're about 9 years old. So you're just about 4 feet tall, and just like your schoolmates, you're learning how to add and subtract 2-digit numbers. Pretty cool. What's even cooler is after class, you have a fruit roll-up waiting for you in your lunchbox. But what makes you different is the fact that that's not all that's waiting for you after class. No, when you take the bus home, you're greeted by your mom, a middle-aged woman with a camera in her hand and an insidious smile across her face. And the thing is, the camera isn't pointed at her. It's pointed at you. From the moment you walk into your home, your mom plays a voicemail she got on speakerphone of your teacher saying that you lit toilet paper on fire at school today.
Your teacher just called!
Kobe brought a lighter to school and lit the toilet paper on fire, and I'm a little bit concerned about this.
Now, what you don't know is that person who left the voicemail is actually your mom's friend pretending to be your teacher. As the camera keeps rolling for what feels like forever, your parents are screaming for something you know you didn't do, and so you deny it. And again, your own mother screams at you, pushing you to an absolute breaking point.
You're too easy!
And just when you're about to crumble under the stress, your parents tell you,
Take a joke! You're the only one in the house that can't take a joke!
and so under the covers and tears, you realize no one is looking out for you. Now, maybe you remember this family, maybe you don't. This is the infamous DaddyOFive channel, who at its peak had over 1 million subscribers and posted videos every day that depicted the life of a mixed family. So you had mom Heather and her 3 sons, Jake, Ryan, and Alex. You had the daughter Emma and son Cody. And then you had the namesake, the man, the myth, the troglodyte asshat himself, Mike Martin, also known as DaddyOFive. And unlike other dads, this daddy's MO was pranks. So we know a prank is a natural evolution of the practical joke, which is defined by dictionary.com as a playful trick often involving some physical agent or means in which the victim is placed in an embarrassing or disadvantageous position. Now, y'all remember the era of the prank videos, right? Like, especially back in 2016, this was the type of content that was particularly synonymous with YouTube.
Great, thank you.
For better and worse, the prank video has evolved a lot in the decade and a half since it first face planted onto the internet. And though the genre is virtually dead now, at the time it was racking up millions of views and birthing massive YouTube empires. With the level of success and visibility came a desire to go bigger, go nastier, inflict some kind of pain on your loved ones or on strangers, doesn't matter, all for the sake of the likes and subscribes. But it's okay, right? It's just a prank, bro. Well, that's what Mike Martin of DaddyOFive thought. And the pranks on his family were particularly vicious. Practically every single video released as a prank on the DaddyOFive channel blew way past simple, innocent pranks and landed somewhere in the vicinity of, oh, I don't know, video evidence of criminal abuse. And that's just not me talking. Videos of these directly led to the Martin family losing custody of 2 of their children. criminal charges, and getting banned not once, but twice.
Back off! What the hell is that?
But how did DaddyOFive skate his way to nearly 1 million followers? And why did he think this was okay? Well, we're gonna dig into all of that right now. But first, oh hi there, hello, hi, it's my face again, Swoop! Hi, if you're seeing me for the first time, welcome. I make documentaries and short films on unsolved cases, true crime, and social media influencers who abuse their power and manipulate audiences because, as I always say, it's not drama, it's dangerous. We also dig deeper into the root psychology, and sometimes we take it to Petty University. Okay, we got the melted smiley on today because my face is about to melt off from this topic, and Petty is my coping mechanism. If you want to join the Petty University community, all of you are welcome, and of course you can grab your exclusive Petty University apparel. The shop is linked below as always. Also, let me just say this real quick. Are y'all following me on Instagram? I mean, come on, honey, are we even friends? Instagram is where I post most often, and I am trying to finally make it to 100,000 followers in this community so that I can feel like a real influencer, but also just because we have a lot of fun over there. So if you want to follow me, links are below. Okay, we're gonna dive face first into this, but real quick, a huge thank you to today's sponsor, Helix Sleep. Their mattress has been a game changer for how I sleep, my chronic pain, and their Memorial Day sale is running now, making it a great time to upgrade your mattress with 25% off for a limited time with my link. So I don't know about you, but sleep was always a real challenge for me, and by challenge, I mean I slept like trash. I was tossing and turning, took forever to fall asleep, but all that changed massively ever since I got my Helix Sleep mattress. No exaggeration, I am getting the best sleep I have ever had. I love it so much. I even got my mom one, okay? You know this is serious when Miss Darling has entered the chat. So Helix Sleep makes premium mattresses that are customized to fit your needs and conveniently ship right to your front door. So every body is different and Helix knows that. So they made a sleep quiz to match your unique body type and sleep preferences to the perfect mattress just for you. And if you sleep with a partner, take the quiz together. You'll find the perfect match for both of you. Like, I personally am a back and side sleeper and prefer a medium firm mattress. I was matched with their Midnight Luxe mattress, and ooh, honey! I have had my mattress for 9 months now, and nothing could tear me away from my Helix Sleep mattress. So y'all know I am living with a spinal injury and fibromyalgia, and this has made such a difference in how I feel. I literally fall asleep in minutes and feel restored when I wake up. In fact, my mom, who also lives with chronic pain, came to visit and slept on my bed and instantly fell in love. So I decided to surprise her with a full bedroom makeover for Mother's Day, and Helix Sleep was kind enough to send her a mattress. We first cleared out everything, gave a fresh coat of paint, and ditched that old box spring. And the great thing, the Helix mattress ships right to your door for free in the US. It comes rolled up in a box, and you just cut the wrapping and watch it magically expand into this beautiful mattress. I'm like genuinely so freaking excited right now. It is super easy to set up, and I did a full redesign with fresh new bedding and accessories to make her bedroom the relaxing oasis that she deserves with the perfect bed. It's been such a long day, but we got the bed done. Keep them closed. 1, 2, 3. Oh, that's fantastic. Welcome to your new bed, by the way. Your new Helix Sleep mattress.
Oh my goodness.
Isn't it amazing? Now the best part, if it makes you nervous to buy something that you haven't tried, Helix has a 100-night sleep trial, so you get more than 3 months to make sure that you love it. Plus, Helix mattresses have a 10-year warranty, and they even offer financing options and flexible payment plans, so a great night's sleep is never far away. I love my Helix mattress, and I think you will too. If you're looking for a new bed, check out Helix. Their Memorial Day sale is running right now. It's the perfect time to upgrade your sleep with 25% off a Helix mattress plus 2 free pillows. So click the link below or go to helixsleep.com/swoop to find out more about this limited time offer. Give it 100 days and treat yourself to the sleep you deserve, honey. Happy every day, happy Mother's Day. Welcome to your new dream palace of sleep.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Okay, back to the doc. So the weirdest part about the DaddyOFive story is that a lot of it comes from very secondhand stories about DaddyOFive himself. Like, it's just kind of odd to me that for somebody who's always filming himself and his family and was seemingly all over the internet until recently, he really doesn't talk about himself or his past that much. Like, I don't know, apparently exploiting the lives of your is more fun. So the only thing most people know about him is the messy ass bull he did to his family, which got me kind of thinking, right? That doesn't just kind of happen out of nowhere, you know? Like, what is Mike's backstory? How did we go from birth to bitch ass monster boy in 60 seconds? Wait, no, okay, Swoop. I'm sorry, you can't say things like that. That's not nice. Let me correct myself. How do you go from birth to bitch ass man boy? There, that's better. Sorry, y'all. The pettiness is really gonna come out of me today because this doc is a lot. But for real, I wanted to know, who is Daddy-O-Funbags and where did he come from? Now, according to interviews that citizen journalist Nick Monroe conducted with everybody from Mike's ex-wife to his first baby mama to his own half-brother, DaddyOFive was born on December 17th, 1982, and he grew up in Baltimore, Maryland, and by all accounts, he had a bit of a troubled childhood himself. Before he was a DaddyOFive, he was a 07 that we know of. Mike's biological mother, Debbie, who Heather Martin once said Mike has no attachment to, had 7 kids with 6 different men and gave up all but one for adoption, including Mike when he was just 2 years old. So Mike and his sister Courtney were adopted by a woman named Audrey Martin, which I'm assuming is when he became Michael Christopher Martin. So early on in Mike's life, Audrey married a man named Charles Brittany. I almost feel like we need one of those like true crime boards, you know, like with the photos and the string, like, okay, hang with me, okay? It's gonna all come together. So Mike's adoptive mom, Audrey, marries Charles Brittany, who had a son of his own named James. James describes his childhood with Mike as a fun one. The two of them were allegedly best of friends, and the two of them would create games together, and James said Mike was naturally very talented. Quote, he was going to be in the limelight. And I mean, yeah, he certainly has been in the limelight, so much that he made it into a Swoop doc, so gold stars and stickers for Mike. But things got a little hectic for Mike in the early days as he bounced around from one school to another before eventually dropping out of high school altogether in the 10th grade. And according to James, their mother, Audrey, his adoptive mom, didn't make things easier with her excessive punishments, including making Mike write the same sentence over and over every day, like some kind of, Simpsons gag. Now, to be fair, Heather Martin, Mike's now wife, had later said in a statement that James was lying about this stuff with his mom, and that Audrey actually fought for Mike and, quote, taught him how to be a man any woman can be proud to call hers, except that Mike is trash and his wife Heather is a liar who deserves to be in prison. Allegedly. So, take her words with a grain of salt and bull. Anyways. Whatever the case may be, his mom Audrey tragically passed of an aneurysm in her mid-30s, which made a bad situation even worse for Mike. His new father, Chris Britton, sold the house that they were living in and sent Mike away to live with his grandparents and his sister Courtney to live with her uncles, which I don't know the circumstances there. On the surface that I'd say it's a pretty shitty thing to happen. A lot of Mike's life past this point is a blur. Plus, there really isn't a clear timeline from Mike or anyone else what he was up to in his late teens and 20s. What we know in broad strokes is that sometime after moving to his grandparents, Mike met a woman named Rose Hall, who once said in an interview that she and Mike began dating around 2004. By October of 2005, they had a little girl named Emma, and by May 2007, their second Cody was born. Cody from the beginning of this doc. But according to Rose, baby mama, Mike actually left all of them in August 2008, shortly after Cody turned 1, which is, you know, real bag energy if you ask me, and kind of fits in with any picture you already have of Mike in your head from the horrid videos that he later goes on to make. Now, all we know on why he left his kids and Rose was around this time Mike met and eventually, from what I understand in her interview with Nick Monroe, married a woman named Amy. In the interview, Amy claimed that she and Mike started speaking on AOL Instant Messenger, which, wow, like it's like an actual internet artifact. Anyways, they started speaking on AIM while Mike was still with Rose, and Amy describes Mike at this time as being a talented man who worked on getting better at editing videos and photos. So that's Mike's very first YouTube channel, made back in July 2008. It's been said that Mike used the channel for gaming and music, but Amy claims the only videos that she remembers were a series called, quote, I'm Bored. That was basically just Mike, quote, going around the house talking shit, and that's it. You know, real talented stuff here. But this is kind of like interesting to me because it's maybe the earliest known example we have of Mike putting himself at the center of his YouTube comment. You know, like, I'm bored, and it's just him talking. The only difference between this and the later DaddyOFive content is who he's talking shit to. Can't f***ing wait. Now, here's a very dumb little sidebar, but at this time, Mike also recorded freestyle singing raps on his computer to express his own feelings and cope with his own shortcomings. You know what? Can somebody tell me, like, what is it with these super problematic dad boys who think that they're gonna have a rap career? Like, all these dusty bitches thinking they're Jay-Z-once, okay?
It's their fault that you're not around.
There's actually kind of some major foreshadowing happening in these lyrics. So let me do a dramatic reading of the most poignant part of Mike Martin's lyrics. It's their fault that you're not around. Time's passed, things have settled down. I look back, no, I'm not proud, 'cause I let you down. Yes, yes. Let me tell you a little bit about those shortcomings AOL Amy mentioned. So the picture Amy paints of Mike is someone deeply unhappy with his life, with a lack of job opportunities, with his mom's passing, and especially with his relationship with Rose. Now, Amy described Mike as a needy person, which is why she fell in love with him. Now, look, I'm not here to kink shame, okay? If you like your men as needy, broke, deadbeat dads who record SoundCloud raps and center themselves in everything, then, you know, you do you, boo. Yes, deadbeat daddy, yes! And like, Amy admits that she went above and beyond defending Mike until eventually she couldn't ignore or defend him anymore. Amy also claimed that Mike had a tendency to blame everybody but himself when it came to any of his personal issues, a theme that we will definitely be seeing soon. So for example, like, Mike didn't view failing out of school as his fault. He viewed it as the school's fault. This also ties into what Amy describes as Mike's rumored crippling fear with abandonment and how he would react whenever he felt threatened in any way. It also didn't bode well for when Mike met Amy's 3-year-old from another father. She describes Mike as a strict parent that demanded respect from her son, who again, is 3 years old, and insisted on being the boy's only father figure, essentially excommunicating the biological dad, which I would think would be a little concerning and controlling, but at first, Amy found Mike's dedication to her son comforting. Mike was initially playful and devoted, and I'm not making this up, he even played pranks on them. Yeah, in a former marriage with a that wasn't his. In a rare moment where Mike actually talks about his past, he even admits to pranking long before DaddyOFive.
Did you prank before YouTube?
Yes, I prank my all the time before YouTube, and my kids inspired me to do YouTube. They all wanted YouTube channels, so I made a YouTube channel.
Now, to be fair, Amy says these pranks on her son were harmless and fun. But even back in 2008, our dude was committed to the cause, okay? And apparently after a while, Mike started taking his dedication a bit too far. It started with him demanding that her son call him daddy. Not Mike, not dad, not even papa, just daddy. And remember, this isn't his biological child, but he expected to control who this child viewed as their daddy, which I don't know about you, but like if you come into a kid's life and you aren't their biological parent, then you better have a damn good reason for demanding that a call you anything other than your name. Oh wait, there is no good reason. Listen, like I'm not saying that a stepfather can't ever be called dad or daddy, but I personally don't believe that it's something that should ever be forced on anyone. Like I think if you're stepping into this new family, the kid sets the pace and the tone for what they're comfortable calling you, not the other way around. Like I think it's basic respect for the fact that these types of changes are delicate and have an impact on their development. And did I mention this was 3 years old, but I digress. Soon after the whole call me daddy thing, Mike became so controlling that Amy described, quote, living in fear of Mike, whose parenting style was described as looking for, quote, complete control over all aspects of the child's life. Did I mention this is 3 years old? Mike started searching the boys' backpack every time he came home from school to see if they got into any trouble. Eventually, in an interview with the channel Gumpkin, Amy claims he started being aggressive with her as well, calling her a fat ass that, quote, needed to lose weight, something that Amy says haunts her to this day, which honestly breaks my effing heart. Like, first of all, listen, we love a good fat ass, okay? Big ones, small ones, flat ones, round ones, all of them are beautiful, okay? I said it, okay? Don't come for me, I said it, I don't care. Second of all, I hate thinking of anyone being haunted by comments about how much they do or do not weigh, their body, anything like that. If someone tries to body shame you, please tell them to f off because you are perfect. Anyways, sorry.
Pissed off about it, babe.
So be pissed off at him?
No, I wanted to take it.
Okay, well, I don't want to take him.
Let's take a bit of a second to sidebar here over a few of the ways Mike is showing his whole ass. What Mike is showing is textbook signs of something psychology today calls textbook helicopter parenting. Quote, the act of parenting unavoidably involves making choices that influence the life of your child. Passive parents allow their to make their own decisions and communicate an attitude of indifference. Over-controlling so-called helicopter parents attempt to shape their children's life in the manner they deem most appropriate. Now, to put it simply, it's a parent who controls your life to make you the person they want you to be, whether you want that or not. To a certain extent, both passivity and control can be developmentally appropriate. Parents who would expect a teen to take responsibility for brushing their teeth but would not expect the same for a Unfortunately, some parents who see the extent of their control diminishing as they mature can turn to emotional manipulation in an effort to regain their previously held influence. Now, there are 3 surefire signs a parent is manipulative, which I want to cover real quick because y'all know this is a Swoop doc and I always try to provide some warning signs and tips in case you're encountering harmful behavior in your own life to help you better understand and deal with it. And these are also things that you're going to see threaded throughout this entire doc. So sign number 1, personal attacks, which is establishing a psychological control by diminishing a self-esteem. Psychology Today even cites a study showing that these sorts of attacks can include, quote, blaming their for other family members' problems, bringing up past mistakes, and telling the they are not a good family member. Why does that sound familiar? Number 2, invalidating feelings. Now, this is a pretty nasty manipulation tactic in general and a surefire sign of someone having a manipulative parent. Quote, adolescents who have experienced feeling invalidation from their parents report that their parents finish their sentences, interrupt them, act like they know what they're is thinking or feeling and try to change how they feel about things. So we see this in minor ways with Mike demanding respect and to be treated as the kid's only dad, thus centering himself as the main pillar. And we also see it a whole lot later in the DaddyOFive channel. Now, to be completely fair, Psychology Today points out that we're all a little guilty of this, right? You know, like main character energy. Look at me. Ugh, so hot. Yes. I mean, look, we love some self-confidence, but sometimes it can get a little much. There's a difference between centering yourself and disregarding someone altogether. For kids who are just beginning to even get a grasp on their identity, invalidation can compromise their growth altogether. Quote, "This attack damages the parent relationship by establishing an emotional hierarchy. The parent's feelings are more important than the child. And damages the sense of individuality, that their feelings are real, personal, and important." And finally, we have warning sign number 3, love withdrawal. Now, it's no secret that kids have a really deep emotional tie to their parents and guardians, but a lot of research also supports that and says that it's because of the, quote, warmth and tenderness of physical touch and infancy, the learned association between the parent and safety, and the release of reinforcing neurotransmitters when interacting with an attached figure. So basically, love. The bond is love, right? Love, 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 love. We love love. And for a manipulative parent, that attachment can be weaponized quite easily. One study shows us that parents will do things like avoiding looking if they're disappointed by them or stop talking to them, aka the silent treatment. I mean, how many of y'all been on the receiving end of the silent treatment? I mean, I had a time in my life with someone who used to give me the silent treatment anytime I did anything. Like literally anything. And because it happened so often where I was frozen out and not allowed to communicate how that made me feel, it has left me with a really awful, deep-seated anxiety anytime someone doesn't respond to me for a length of time for anything. Like it could be a text asking someone if they want to grab dinner. Like if I don't hear from them in like a day or even sometimes shorter, the irrational side of my brain starts to think, oh my gosh, I must have done something wrong. I must be an asshole. What did I f up now? That silent treatment at a young age can really mess with your development. And hey, you know, this may be the one sign of manipulative parenting that we can't tie to Mike through Amy based on her memories of the time that she spent with him and how he treated her child. But you know where we can see this exemplified? Mike allegedly not seeing his own for 3 years. So on top of being a total bag ass clown, DaddyOFive was apparently quite neglectful of his own, because yeah, he had his own. At the same time, he was making demands of Amy's kid. And like, get this, according to Nick Monroe's interview, Amy and Mike were married in 2009, and Amy said that she didn't even meet Mike's kids, Cody and Emma, until the summer of 2011. And that before meeting them, Mike called Cody a problem. And Emma, well, he called his own daughter an ableist slur that starts with R that I am not gonna repeat here. And it's not the type of name a grown-ass man should be calling his daughter or, you know, anyone. That same summer that Amy met Mike's kids was the same summer Amy claims she finally had enough of Mike. One day she came home to a complete disaster. Like the house was a mess. Cody and Emma and her own son were just running around without Mike watching them. And Mike, well, Mike at that time had apparently been unemployed for 2 years and borrowing money from his grandma, and instead of looking for a job, he was sitting there playing Xbox. Seeing this, Amy screamed at Mike, "Get off your lazy ass, you bee, and help me." And like, honestly, yeah, like of course you shouldn't talk to your partner that way, but also get off your lazy ass and help her. This seems like a logical thing to do. Anyways, from here it exploded into a huge screaming match where Mike said that he was failing at getting a job because Amy didn't help him. Because, you know, it's always someone else's fault. He didn't have a driver's license or even a GED because Amy wasn't helping him. As you can imagine, all of this was just too much. So that day, Amy and Mike broke it off. I wonder if he even got the Xbox. So why did I just tell you all of that he said, she said relationship drama stuff? Because I think it shows exactly what type of person Mike Martin is and always has been. An insecure man who wants control over every aspect of his life, who can't stand the idea that any of his failings are because of him. He plays pranks on the people he claims to love and spends most of his time playing video games or messing around on YouTube. Even off camera, he alternates between protective dad and complete monster at the drop of a dime. Now from here, Mike's history really is just like a complete blur until the DaddyOFive channel was birthed into this world. Shortly after he and Amy broke up in 2011, Mike and Rose got back together. Remember Rose, the mother of his two who he left for Amy? According to Rose, she asked him to be a father figure and take care of Cody, which, great, except sometime in the summer of 2011, Mike once again left Rose because he met another woman named Heather Lynn Withrop. Yes, friends, every rose has its thorns, and Rose's thorn is a real prick. Now, I'm not gonna spend too much time talking about Heather's backstory like I did Mike's. I will get into some of it a little bit later, but for now, all you need to know about Heather is that she and Mike fell hard for each other almost immediately. Heather had 3 kids of her own, Jake, Ryan, and Alex, and after working things out with Rose, Mike had partial custody of Cody and Emma, and by January 2014, Heather and Mike were married and had all 5 kids living under one roof. You can probably guess where this is going.
Are you It's real fun! It's real fun, right?
We're gonna start here with Mike's stepbrother, James. The first time James saw his stepbrother in about a decade was on his kid's computer screen in 2017. In the video, a YouTuber named Boogie2988 was talking in a self-described rambling video about a family YouTuber who was facing allegations of exploiting their in increasingly abusive ways.
Talking about a family here on YouTube. And I'm not going to mention the name of the family because I don't want to lump into the situation. I would make a rambling video talking about what's going on there and talking about what's going on in my life and what has happened to me and draw some of the parallels.
Now you might notice Boogie did not name the family in that video, but James's kids figured out pretty quickly that the family being referred to was a channel that was plastered all over YouTube's recommendations every day. DaddyOFive. Now James was shocked to hear all about this and couldn't believe the terrible things Boogie was talking about were something that his brother could do. His kids went over to the DaddyOFive channel, and before Mike even appeared in the video, James heard this. Once James heard this laugh, he knew this was his brother, the sensitive artist he had once been inseparable from. How did that kid turn into this?
What the f is wrong with you all? Are you It's real fun, right? It's real fun!
But okay, hold on. I'm getting ahead of myself here. On August 13th, 2015, Mike Martin created the DaddyOFive YouTube channel. Its About page used to say, quote, "We as a family decided to make this YouTube channel just for fun." From a cursory glance, it looked just like any number of normal family YouTube pages. It was kind of like a modern day Brady Bunch, only, you know, if the Brady Bunch were from hell and the dad was actual Satan. Here's a story of a big man baby who was neglecting 2 kids of his own. He was a D-bag, a real bad parent who should be alone. Allegedly. I'm sorry, I couldn't help myself. Okay, back to the story. In the earliest days of the channel, DaddyOFive was meant to be another gaming channel for Mike, and he even had a Twitch stream under the same name that still exists today. He made himself the central focus, and it wasn't a prank channel at first. But then, on July 8th, 2016, Mike tweeted this: "I may have just done a prank on one of my kids, and there might be a video coming soon. Maybe, I don't know, LOL." Teehee, oh my gosh, this is so exciting. LOL, can't wait. Not even a month later, Mike started posting videos of these pranks to YouTube, and you know what? They weren't that bad at first. You know, it was simple things like Mike sneaking around, pretending to be a serial killer. Cool. Prank content was what got the most clicks, so as time went on, the pranks started ramping up in intensity. We went from vlogs with titles like Tornado Warning, The Kids Go on a Ghost Hunt, to titles like, Mom Jake with a spoon. Yeah, cool. At this point, every new video seemed to have more and more intense pranks. The most popular of these videos targeted Cody specifically, little 9-year-old Cody. In some videos, his siblings would beat him up. In others, the videos would be clearly scripted scripts like The Clown Killer. Now, as a result of this, the channel started growing rapidly. First, 100,000 subscribers, then 200,000, then 300,000. By December 2016, they hit 500,000 subscribers, and looking at an archive of Mike Martin's Twitter account at that time, the Martins had an absolutely staggering amount of videos, because between September 2016 and March 2017, DaddyOFive was posting over 30 videos per month. Mike wanted to be a star, no matter the cost. Yes, Daddy, slay. Ah!
And don't forget to like and subscribe to DaddyOFive!
You know, at one point he tweeted that he hoped the channel would do well enough that he could raise enough money to buy his own dream car for himself. For him, you know, not something for his family or his kids that he's arguably torturing for content. No, a new car for himself. Now, to Mike, his kids were a good way to mine content, and the audience loved every video more than the last. So honestly, in my opinion, there's some major audience culpability in this bull for the people who are supporting this. Like, I'll come back to that later, but yeah, the more intense the prank, the better the video performs. And yes, what you're looking at are real graphics Mike made himself. Hold on, wait, hold on. Okay, I'm sorry. Penn University, roll the intro, we have to. Look at these images Mike made. Okay, Mr. Zaddy. Is this your Tinder profile, Zaddy? Bitch, look, okay, we got just got back from the gym, bro, daddy. We got check out my wicked gear, I'm a tech review, daddy. We also got 2002 boy band daddy, barbecue baby back rib daddy, deep thinking daddy, whatever the hell this is, daddy, and wait for it, wait for it, Big Daddy of Thrones, daddy. Wait, okay, I gotta see that again. I'm sorry, okay, class dismissed.
Hurry up, get in here, because your mother's on the way home.
Around the time Mike was peeking down the barrel of 1 million subscribers, people started to feel a little uncomfortable about the DaddyOFive brand. And you know what? Instead of showing you like most any of the videos, I think you'll get a good idea why they were uncomfortable from the titles alone. So let me try to recite a few in one breath. Dad destroys son's PS4. Kid gets a guy. Kid gets belt. Alex slammed Emma in the face. Dad slams kid. Kid fight ends in bloodshed. Jake makes Cody psycho. Jake beats up Alex. Jake beats up Brian. Jake crushes Cody. Cody poops on the floor. Dad poops on Cody. Psycho wife pulls knife on husband. Using Cody for target practice. Is Jake gay? Bruh, the list goes on and on and on and on. Talk started spreading across the internet about how the DaddyOFive videos were basically glorified abuse videos, allegedly. Edited videos set to silly music labeled as pranks that really consisted of the most horrific, toxic examples of abuse you could find.
Something. What are you doing? No, bullshit! Too early in the morning for this bullshit. I'll get your ass ready for school and clean this room.
In one video, Mike pranks Cody by accusing him of stealing his Nintendo DS and proceeds to literally scream at him,
"You stole my f***ing DS?
There is no world where this kid was acting and crying on cue for a prank, nor would it have any idea how to process that very real pain and fear that they just felt that drove them to tears. And then those feelings just erase the moment someone yells prank. In another video called End of the World Prank, Mike creates an elaborate situation where he uses a fake emergency broadcast recording from YouTube in order to trick Alex and Cody into thinking the world was ending.
Participate in the emergency alert system. During this emergency, most stations will remain on the air providing news and information to the public in assigned areas.
Now, Alex doesn't fall for the prank, but Cody, super young Cody, buys it completely, panicking, crying, and hiding under his blankets. It just goes on and on and on. Walks in from school and gets buckets of water thrown in them to where they can't even feel safe in their own home.
Get in here and clean the mess up.
Ah, prank!
It was a joke!
Just a prank, bruh!
And almost all of these times, the kids freaked out, especially Cody. And Mike would say what's become his catchphrase, "It's just a prank, bro."
Just a prank, bruh!
After every single prank, "It's just a prank, bro."
Says, which one of your 5 kids annoys you the most? Cody?
I love my dad and I love my mom.
It's not funny. Stop trying to copy everyone.
Just as quickly as the DaddyOFive channel rose to notoriety, it all fell apart, and it all started with Invisible Ink prank epic freakout in early 2017.
I got a prank for Cody. I bought this here, invisible ink. I'm gonna squirt it all over his carpet and start flipping out.
Heather sprays this stuff, this ink, all over Cody's room like she's, you know, some kind of low rent budget ass Jackson Pollock, and then gears up and...
Get your ass up here!
What did you do?
What the f***?
Cody's face starts turning bright red. You cannot fake that emotion, as he tells his parents that he didn't do it. Because guess what? He didn't. Oh, and if I haven't mentioned this before, Cody, small little Cody, long before this, Cody was diagnosed with a mental health disorder. They are doing this to a with a diagnosed mental health disorder. I am fuming. Then, to add insult to injury, Heather, mommy dearest, or should I say step mommy dearest, starts to smile at Cody and reveals that she has a small bottle of invisible ink, and she and Mike start laughing while Mike points his camera at Cody's face and screams, "You just got owed. It's just a prank, bruh."
Invisible ink, it dries and comes out. It's already drying up.
You just got owned. It's just a prank, bruh.
Okay, so here's the deal. A lot has already been said about this specific video by a lot of other creators before. It's horrifying, it's heartbreaking, it's vile, and in my opinion, it's there's no question about it whatsoever. And to me, it seems like the unfortunate end game of what I talked about earlier with manipulative parenting. Except in this case, it's not just Mike, it's Heather too. So let's review real quick. Personal attacks. There are actually many, many instances where Mike and Heather isolate and personally attack Cody right in front of the rest of the family. Most of the time it's in truly heinous, awful, and extreme ways that leave Cody in absolute tears. But here's an even more subtle example of this happening.
Says, which one of your 5 kids annoys you the most? This one!
And if you watch through many of their videos, Mike often reprimands Cody for simple things like speaking, when all of the rest of the kids are doing the same thing. They're speaking too.
Why do you just let Jake do whatever he wants? Jake, do you get to do whatever you want?
You shouldn't be able to, but
Don't talk to him. You should see what happens off camera.
She's not really gonna get no spoon.
She's gonna get the fork and the juice.
Stop. You won't tempt her.
I think you can really feel the need for control and dominance that Mike's ex said about him. You know, like it's a trend with how he handles his whole family, but it's particularly targeted at Cody. For years, Mike has been either distant to his kids or unusually cruel. And remember, all of this is happening on camera and uploaded for millions of people to see and encourage in the comments. Like Cody literally becomes the family punching punching bag with their viewers. And if it's this bad on camera, like what is it like off camera?
You should see what happens off camera.
Really? Let me show them what happens. I'm gonna beat you up.
She said it, not me. Now, back to the signs of manipulative parenting from the Invisible Ink video. So we touched on personal attacks where they're accusing Cody of being a liar, and then they move to invalidating feelings. Cody is crying and insisting he didn't do anything wrong, and he's probably like super confused as to why his parents are screaming at him. Being that they orchestrated this whole thing and know it's all their lie, honestly makes this some of the grossest gaslighting I have seen in a long time. And then we move to love withdrawal. Remember that sign? This is the most extreme version of that yet, because no matter what Cody does, if he's not laughing off the prank, his parents are just going to treat him like he's overreacting and it's his fault. He's so upset about his parents literally screaming at him for who knows how long and blaming him for something he didn't do, and then laughing in his face while filming it all to put on YouTube. Like, grow up, Cody. Man up. It's disgusting. And this is something that many psychologists agree is textbook familial abuse. John Cafaro, a professor of psychology at the California School of Professional Psychology, you know, professionals, once told the Washington Post, quote, "There is a little question in my mind that the videos depict abusive behavior between parents and children, as well as between siblings. The parents' constant and intense ridicule involving both words and actions that express contempt and degradation deprive the victim of a sense of self-worth." So to put it even more simply, it doesn't matter if this was the life Cody should have been used to, especially since it was clear that he was the target of Mike's worst impulses even when they weren't filming a prank video. I mean, again, look at the ways that Mike reacts to Cody simply talking in the Q&A I showed you earlier. Does that look like it's always clear whenever your parents are just f***ing around?
No, he doesn't, because he's not loud.
I am.
You know what? We're gonna... I'm sorry, y'all. Sometimes this just makes my blood boil so much. If I don't transform into Professor Petty, I'm gonna punch someone in the balls. You see in this clip, Mike tells Cody to wait his turn.
Because he's not loud.
I am, but I gotta wait my turn.
Even if Mike were to argue, oh, Cody talks a lot, he needs to wait his turn. Like, Mike, bring it in, Michael, come here, Michael. Why the f you think Cody is talking a lot, Michael? I mean, I don't know. Could it be all of the times that you invalidated his feelings and he's trying to have his little voice heard? Huh, Mike? Maybe he's trying to get your attention after all the times you punished him with love withdrawal and gang up on him with the rest of the family. I don't know. What do you think, Daddy-O-Favorites? Or maybe, and here's a wild thought, maybe he's talking because both his parents continually shove a camera in his face every day, forcing him to shuck and jive and perform for the camera every waking moment because Daddy-O-Flaccid Pants needs a shiny new car and gets off on exploiting the fear of his for profit. Allegedly. I mean, look, we all know this was about you and never about family bonding because you force cameras on them without their consent, even when they are asking you not to film.
Go and take the camera with you.
No! I gotta vlog my life.
I've gotta vlog my life. You know, I'm done. You know, I think the thing that may have made me the most disturbed with this one video in particular was when, on camera, Mike and Heather asked if they feel like their parents are abusive.
Are your parents abusive?
Yeah. Help. I'm just kidding. No, they're not.
Go ahead, Alex. Cody.
I love my dad and I love my mom.
It's not funny. Stop trying to copy everyone.
No, they aren't. They're very kind.
First of all, there is no world in this galaxy or Beyonce's internet where you can put on a camera on anyone, doesn't even have to be a kid, and ask them a loaded question like, are you being abused? And have the abuser be the one to ask the question and expect to get an accurate answer. That is not a safe environment for anyone to be vulnerable in and feel safe enough to answer honestly. And by weaponizing a camera without their consent, because they're kids and they can't consent to this, they corner them into having to answer whatever will make mommy and daddy happy. You know, it's like a kidnapper putting their victim on camera and forcing them to say, everything's fine, don't worry. That is a manipulation tactic called duress. Threats, violence, constraints, or other actions used to coerce someone into doing something against their will or better judgment. Where the constraints are being on camera, knowing this will be broadcast to millions. The threats are, hey, if you say you are being abused, guess what? Millions will see it and your mom and dad will get in trouble and you'll lose the YouTube channel and everyone will blame you, Cody. And the violence, well, we've seen the violence.
What did you do?
Y'all know we've talked about coercive control before, but check this out. In a psychologically coercive environment, the victim is forced to adapt in a series of small, invisible steps. Each step is sufficiently small that the subject does not notice the changes or identify the coercive nature of the process until much later, if ever. Victims gradually lose their ability to make independent decisions and exercise informed consent. Their emotional defenses, cognitive processes, values, ideas, attitudes, conduct, and ability to reason are undermined, and decisions are no longer through meaningful free choice. And this is all besides the fact that these are literal whose brains are years from being fully developed and cannot possibly understand the definition and the spectrum of to even be able to answer this fully. So this is the video of parents holding the hostage and using their responses to justify their horrible behaviors, allegedly. After the Disappearing Ink video got posted to YouTube, people were pissed. Now, there were some commenters who thought it was still, you know, just good, clean family fun, but most were quick to call BS. And soon another video was found called Tablet Destruction, which I'm really not gonna show you, where Mike very clearly pushes Cody into a bookshelf and it really looks like Cody is covered in When I say push, I mean it was a hard and full face plant straight into the edge of the shelf. Now, Mike denied this, saying that it was just red ink and all part of an act. Yeah, Mike, red ink. Now, the funny thing is, like, if this were a film set and they were acting, there are literal laws around how a is to be handled on set, including stunt work and access to a psychologist so the kid is well prepared in advance on how to handle the scenes, and it's choreographed. So even your bullshit excuse, it's an act, is full of bullshit. Now, eventually the comments were too overwhelming for Mike to ignore, so on April 16th, he uploaded a video directly addressing the allegations levied against him and Heather, titled, "Blocking All the Haters," with an exclamation point.
I'm getting all kinds of hate right now on all my social medias and on one of my videos. A lot of people are really pissed off about this video because we're yelling and crying. Apparently it's upsetting a lot of people. This video, I mean,
It's just a prank, bro. Pretty much sums it up.
Yeah.
And Mike, again, on camera, asked Cody and the rest if they're being abused.
Was anybody traumatized?
No! Well, I don't even know what that word means, but yes, no. I was, Mom. Yes. I was.
Okay, are you abused?
Yes, I am.
Are any of you abused?
No. Does everyone have fun?
And you know, here's what confirms the psychological coercion even further to me. Now, remember the key points. Psychological coercion overcomes the individual's critical thinking abilities and free will. When asked if they're being abused, their daughter Emma says this.
Okay, are any of you abused?
No. Does everyone have fun doing YouTube?
Playing my game. Without you, how am I going to be going to Disney?
Exactly.
I wouldn't be having that giant stuffed animal up there.
Without YouTube, we wouldn't be going to Disneyland. Without YouTube, I wouldn't have that giant stuffed animal. Without knowing it, she's essentially saying that without being screamed at and shoved around and gaslit and made to cry almost daily on camera for the world to see, without that happening, she wouldn't get to go to Disneyland. That if she wants to go to Disneyland or get a toy, she has to endure this awful treatment. And it must be uploaded for millions of people to watch her suffering. I can't even begin to put to words how absolutely disgusting it is that her parents have coerced her for so long that in her developing mind, that to her, those ends justify the means.
let's jump into it. And so that first story we're going to talk about today is about a family that has garnered a lot of negative attention in the past week. And that's a family that's been sharing their lives on a YouTube channel by the name of DaddyOFive. Hope you're having a fantastic Monday. Welcome back to the Philip DeFranco Show.
In case you don't recognize this man, this is Philip DeFranco, one of the most prominent, longest lasting channels on the YouTube platform. Now, he wasn't the first to criticize the Martins, he wasn't the last, but holy Pete Davidson on toast, was he the biggest name to bring attention to this story yet.
Once again, with it being a prank channel, there's a lot of times where you don't know what's real. Is it fake? But a lot of the reactions seem legitimate. A lot of the time it seems directed toward Cody, even though Cody is very obviously not a fan of this.
And he goes on to showcase even more footage, including the shelf incident and others, and he asks,
if they've really been called and protective services said, you know, they did nothing wrong, the pushing, the hitting, the screaming, the egging them on, if they saw all that as a CPS issue, and if they're already investigating, hopefully they've seen that footage.
Phil's video drew in more than 6 million views, and suddenly all eyes were on Mike Martin and the DaddyOFive clan. And meanwhile, the Martins tried to continue on with their aggressive programming schedule like nothing was happening, and managed to shoot themselves in the damn foot yet again with a video where they revealed they were going to Disney World as a family, but leaving Cody behind. In this video, everybody decides to leave Cody behind before the trip, and Heather says,
I love the boy, but I don't want to take him because he's bad as and he's gonna make everyone miserable the whole time.
Sorry, Cody. I guess enduring all this endless on-camera abuse still won't get you a trip to Disneyland. Now, both Mike and Heather admit throughout the video that some, and maybe even all, of Cody's siblings are glad he isn't going, but what's interesting is the reason why they say Cody isn't going, because allegedly, Cody smeared his feces on the wall. Now, the reason this is interesting is because it's not funny, like, at all. It's also said to be a warning sign for a youth being abused. This means that Cody was punished for something that very possibly was provoked by the people around him. And then when he loses the Disney World trip, his parents make a YouTube video calling him crazy, wishing that he was normal, and broadcasts it out to the world.
If my kids are listening to this, I hope they know I never forgot about them and I never gave them away.
So, you remember Rose, Mike's first relationship in the story, and the biological mother of Emma and Cody?
I've been through a lot with my ex, Michael Martin. Gave him chance after chance to be a dad and do the right thing, and he ended up stealing both of my kids from me just to hurt me, and now he's hurting them.
What you just heard was Rose Hall herself in an interview that also includes her sister Crystal Reynolds speaking to Chambers of My Heart about her own experience with Mike Martin and the concern she had for her family.
If my kids are listening to this, I hope they know I never forgot about them and I never gave them away, and I love them and I miss them every day.
To understand Rose's place in this controversy and why she felt the need to speak up at all, we gotta back up a little bit to the year 2014. At this time, Mike and Heather had been together for a few years, and Rose was the primary parent to Cody and Emma. However, she was having trouble raising Cody because he had been diagnosed with oppositional defiant disorder, or ODD for short, which is a mental health disorder that's characterized by getting irritated easily, being overly argumentative, and being overly aggressive. Yeah, let me clarify that again. All those clips of Mike and Heather traumatizing Cody, allegedly, were being done to Cody, who lives with this diagnosed mental health disorder. Now, according to Rose, she needed help and decided to reach out to Mike to see if he would be interested in helping raise Cody. Mike agreed, and the two of them agreed on Cody coming to visit over the summer to see if any kind of change in his environment would help him, you know, kind of calm down. And it seemed to help, so it became a semi-regular thing where Cody would come visit and stay for a week at a time or so. To Rose, Cody getting to live, you know, semi-regularly in Maryland would be great because he would have much better access to healthcare than he would in North Carolina, and eventually a plan was proposed where Cody would stay with Mike and Heather for 6 months so that he could get the treatment that he needed. Imagine going to Mike and Heather's home to help him calm a little bit and having to endure that chaos. But according to Rose, she needed help. But she claims that Mike either interpreted her pleas for help as incompetence or merely painted them to be that. Because what actually happened, according to Rose Hall, and I want to make it clear that this is a very heavy allegation, is that Heather Martin straight up forged paperwork saying that Rose had actually given up her custody of Cody altogether. Rose was shocked when Heather told her she had agreed to give up Cody, and even more shocked when she received a copy of the paperwork in the mail with her name attached to it. Rose claims that the Martins were able to forge her signature because they had a bunch of Rose's own personal documents that they may or may not have taken illegally during a visit to get some of Cody and Emma's toys. Now, some of these documents were even used against Rose in court, which is why Rose believes they stole them. And like one of them was a medical record of Rose having hypoxic brain damage when she was born, as if that f***ing... Anyways, now the big question that you might have is who's telling the truth here? Because of the very long, very drawn out custody battle that ensued, we know about a staggering amount of messages between the two of them, as well as now public court documents that paints a really depressing picture of what was going on behind the scenes before DaddyOFive, during DaddyOFive, and even after, a phase I like to call DaddyOFelony. Now, no matter what's true or not, Rose had to represent herself in the case due to not being able to afford the lawyer fees, and claims that anytime she could afford a lawyer, the Martins cited a conflict of interest and requested a change of date for the proceedings. Regardless, in both cases, the judge ended up siding with Mike and Heather, leaving Cody and Emma in their custody alone. Then, in August 2016, Rose discovered the DaddyOFive YouTube page and saw video after video after video of what she believed was her in a very dangerous situation, and I agree with you, Rose. So she contacted the authorities in North Carolina, and then she contacted the authorities in Maryland, and then eventually she got into contact with Chambers of My Heart for this interview.
He did a great job with the interview and stuff like that, but I really feel like more needs to be said. I feel like I owe everyone more of an explanation.
The day after that video came out, the Martins released their own video, Family Destroyed Over False Accusations. And no, for once I'm not doing one of those things where I mispronounce a word and then brush past it either, okay? They literally said family destroyed over false accusations. Yes, okay, there it is. In this video, Mike goes through the motions of saying that all the DaddyOFive videos are you ready for this? Completely fake. He claims that they were scripted, staged works of fiction, and that the reactions were all actings.
I tiptoed around it because I was scared. I was scared. But now I don't care anymore. I don't care anymore. The videos are fake. They're fake.
Wow, okay? Someone call Steven Spielberg, because these are the best child actors I have ever seen in my life. Now, my personal favorite part is when Mike offers proof that he would write for entertainment purposes only.
I put in the video description for entertainment purposes only. I categorize the videos as entertainment or comedy, something that I know. I've even used keywords a few times. I used the word fake in the keywords and stuff a few times.
Yeah, that isn't true. Real freak out video was actually in the description of a few videos, and Nick Monroe claims that he had proof that these descriptions were only added after the controversy started. Now, unfortunately, Nick Monroe linked this proof to his Twitter, which got suspended, so, you know, hope you're well, Nick. Now, as the video goes on, DaddyOScumbag apologizes for letting the situation get out of control.
By the Franco guy, he made a video about us just steamrolling us. He never contacted me or anything. He never asked me if anything was real.
Go and take the camera with you.
No! I gotta vlog my life. He never tried to interview me. He never researched nothing. You just got owned. It's just a prank, bruh. He watched a few videos and boom.
And because of that video, we now have real danger coming our way.
My kids are terrified.
Get your ass
What did you do?
What the f***?
They can't go outside. They can't. I'm so scared for when they go back to school. This guy put us in huge danger over fake videos.
It's real funny, right? It's real funny.
My kids love this YouTube.
Emma, you're not.
And I'm taking all this hate right now for them.
And don't forget to like and subscribe to DaddyOFive.
And we're gonna continue to make videos.
If we're able.
If we're able.
Yeah, so what you just heard was DaddyOFool saying the video of him were fake, and it's Philip DeFranco's fault that people are mad. Things had blown up since Phil's video came out, and the story even made national news in outlets like the New York Post, the Washington Post, and BBC News. You know, honestly, if BBC's coming for you, okay, you really done up, okay? I'm just saying. Retribution came fast for Mike and Heather, and it came hard. Yes, Daddy. First, YouTube removed ads from the channel, meaning they couldn't monetize any of their videos anymore. Now, to be clear, they've always said that the money is supposed to be for their kids. You know, money for trips, money for toys, money to keep them at the house, and so on. But it was also Mike and Heather's only income, period. And doesn't seem like an easy deflection to tell your audience that this money that they make from doing this to the kids is for the kids. Now, on top of that, many of the videos were reported by commenters to YouTube enough that they deleted those videos, but some were still up for days until the Martins decided to make the entire channel's archive private. And suddenly, DaddyOFive looked a whole lot like DaddyONone until a new video was uploaded. This video was called DaddyOFive Founders Issue Public Apology.
No, God! No, God, please, no! No! No!
Now, right away, you could see that this ain't your DaddyOFive's normal video. The production value is higher, and both of their tones are softer and much more apologetic. I love the pink touches that she decided to put on. Spectacles, real good look, nice and innocent, Mike.
No!
Now, Heather does most of the talking this time with some very bizarre fades to black in the middle of certain sentences.
This has been the absolute worst week of our life, and we realized that we have made some terrible parenting decisions. We just want to make things right.
I do agree that we put things on the internet that should not be there. We did things that we should not do.
We are now in family counseling because we need it, not only to get through the, media stuff, but we need it to come back together and have everybody, even the kids, to understand what we did wrong. We just wanted our kids to be happy, and we went about it the wrong way.
But no matter how apologetic the Martins were, things just kept getting worse for them. Mike and Heather and Rose, in a separate statement, revealed that a protective services investigation began in Maryland, with Rose's sister Crystal claiming that CPS considered their behavior corporal punishment of the kids.
They were happy to see him, and Cody started remembering everybody, and he was happy to be home. I was happy to be home.
So this all started around April 16th, 2017. Less than 2 weeks after the whole DaddyOFart show commenced with the disappearing ink video, on April 28th, the Frederick County Sheriff's Office served a court order to take Cody and Emma from Michael and Heather Martin and place them in emergency custody with their biological mother, Rose. Now, apparently, when the Chambers of My Heart video went out, a YouTuber known as Based Mama reached out to a lawyer named Tim Conlon, and I know his name because I'm a thorough bitch, and asked if he would represent Rose in her fight to get her kids back. Conlon received the call and told the Washington Post that he, quote, thought it was some sort of goofy prank. Then he watched the videos, and almost immediately he called the YouTuber back, and within 2 days they were all in court asking for emergency custody, which was granted the same day. Now, for Rose, this was a huge relief. Like, she hadn't seen Cody or Emma in person since 2015, when the custody battle got to be its worst, and now Cody and Emma, in the immediate aftermath, had to reacclimate to life out of the public eye and deprogram, according to Conlon, which is like literally language used in regards to brainwashing victims. Yeah, that tracks.
He said some things that were disturbing. that he hated me, that Mike and Heather told him I threw him away like he was garbage and I didn't love him no more.
I cannot think of something more heartbreaking in this story than those words right there. The back and forth and what that very likely has done to his development and the fact that he has a mental health disorder on top of this is just, it really sucks. It really sucks. Anyways, back to it. Then, a few months later, on July 27th, 2017, news broke that Mike and Heather Martin were facing 2 counts of neglecting a minor in Maryland. According to prosecutors, they were accused of neglecting Cody and Emma between November 2016 and April 2017, the peak of DaddyOFive's existence. And if you ask me, they should list all of the kids on there. Now, prosecutor Lindy Angel said that a psychologist had determined the channel's videos were, quote, tormenting enough to constitute that they, quote, suffered emotional trauma as a result. Trauma, for profit, all allowed to be uploaded to this very platform. A few months later, in September, Mike and Heather were convicted of misdemeanor neglect charges, and each of them were sentenced to 5 years of supervised probation. Now, both entered an Alford plea to the charges, which I've talked about here before, but if you didn't know, it's where a defendant does not admit guilt, but acknowledges that the prosecution had more than enough evidence to convict. So even after all of this, they still refused to take accountability, even after their apology video. Honestly, when they were going around proclaiming that all their pranks were fake, the only fake that I saw was their apology video.
We wanted them to be happy. We just wanted our kids to be happy, and we went about it the wrong way.
Bullshit. As a condition of their probation, Mike and Heather had to agree to absolutely no contact with Cody and Emma unless the court approved it. And even then, the two had to agree to absolutely, under no circumstances, post the in videos or photos to social media. Their attorney, Stephen Tolley, released a statement saying that Mike and Heather were relieved by the charges because they were originally facing the maximum sentence of 5 years in prison. He claimed that there was a new era with social media and that Mike and Heather, quote, have to learn the things that are appropriate and not appropriate, particularly with children. And you know what? You can off with that statement. How about instead of this is a new era with social media and they have to learn, how about, I don't know, don't abuse kids? It's really that simple. Now, you would think that we'd be done with the DaddyOFive saga, but oh no, friends, they're not done yet.
We should have made better decisions. We could give them a whole lot more than we could give them before, and we just felt like we were doing the best thing that we could for them.
Very quietly, a pair of channels popped up less than a month after the Martins lost custody of Cody and Emma that had suspiciously familiar titles. Those channels were called FamilyOFive and FamilyOFive Gaming, and by the middle of 2018, they were already almost as big as the original channel was at its peak. The channel was supposed to now show Mike and Heather being the center of the joke, if they were even in the videos at all, but in practice, it was Mike going psycho while playing video games, Alex wrecking his room, the kids yelling at Mike to turn the camera off. Even the trailer for the channel showed one of the getting hit in the groin and crying in pain. Oh wait, I'm sorry. What was that you said?
We're focused on making sure that our kids don't have to deal with so much backlash from our bad decisions, and we realize now what kind of a situation we put them in.
Bullshit. If you saw the DaddyOFive videos, it was more of the same on these new channels, only with 100% less Cody and 100% less Emma because, it's against the law now. But still, on the new channel, Mike screams at his family, Mike cusses at his family. Mike and Heather literally came back to do all the same things that led to them losing Cody and Emma just a few months before. All monetized, all just as cruel, same as ever was.
And we're just really sorry to them.
Bullshit. On July 18th, 2018, FamilyOFive Family Gaming, and the defunct original DaddyOFive pages were finally terminated by YouTube for violating the terms of service. Jake and Heather deleted their Instagrams, Mike deleted his Twitter, anything and everything they posted was gone. But fear not, friends, they did open a website called officialfamilyofive.com, where all their content was now stuck behind a paywall. I'm sorry, class in session. I'm gonna scream. Yes, they started a website. No, they haven't changed one damn thing. And friends, I kid you not, you are about to throw your phone when I read this to you, okay? Look at the mission statement they wrote on the front page of their website. Quote, "We are the Martins, originally on YouTube vlogging our lives as well, pranks, silliness, and family fun." Pranks, silliness, family f***ing fun? If you think you know us from self-serving drama content creators with their own agendas or a BBM, you don't. I feel attacked. Let's keep reading. "You can't tell who someone is by 5 minutes of what you think is their life on a screen, a platform that is meant for creating. What happened to our family was not okay, and we are going to be a voice and keep talking until someone decides to listen. What happened to your family was decided by a court of law."
But is it against the law, though?
Law!
No, but is it against the law, though?
Yes. Our fans are part of our family. We don't just want a fan base, we want a community of people that love and care about each other. Son of a bitch, motherfucker, just off that shot, blah, and I'm words, I'm saying, but just, I just can't, and then they think that they're, I'm sorry. I'm not even gonna finish the rest that I had for this segment. I'm just gonna move on to the next. Class dismissed.
So me and Jake are about to make a song. I got an album coming out soon, or it could be out already by the time you see this. I don't know when this is going to be posted.
In November 2018, the family returned yet again on a channel now known as the Martin Boys. And at first, it seemed to be just that. The adventures of Jake, Ryan, and Alex. No Mike, no Heather. There were prank videos, lifestyle vlogs, the boys walking around the mall, and audio of Jake producing hip-hop music, which...
No, God, no!
I'm just sweet Michael B. Jordan. Mike Martin became a SoundCloud rapper known first as Mikey M and later Deadbolt. If he's not hurting his family, he is hurting unsuspecting ears who made the mistake of listening to this music. In January 2019, only a year and a half into their sentences, Michael and Heather Martin had their sentences reduced from 5 years of supervised probation to 5 years of unsupervised probation. That means they no longer had to check in with law enforcement as the terms of their sentencing. Interestingly, the judge did tell Mike and Heather that they could no longer make vlogs with their children and needed to do their part to help YouTube in finding and removing any and all re-uploads of old DaddyOFive and FamilyOFive content from the internet, which, let me see. Yeah, doesn't look like they did. And if you couldn't tell by now, the Martin Boys was basically yet another Trojan horse back into the YouTube sphere. Like by 2020, the ruse was up and Mike was front and center once again in virtually every video posted from that point on, with greatest hits like "Someone Got Hurt," "Dad Destroyed My Car," "Sucking Meat with DaddyOFive," and "Is DaddyOFive Coming Back?" The channel quietly changed its name from the Martin Boys to the Martin Family, which is still its name today. But also, there's a Mike Martin music video called "Waiting for You," where Mike sings sadly in auto-tune in black and white out of a window, and honestly, it's just a delight. As of April 2023, the channel is still live and virtually every update is either Mike, Heather, or Jake.
He's humming to get the rhythm and to fix his voice on it and everything.
This is the 4th rebranding of the Martin family brand, and it's not the last one either, because in May 2021, the Martins made their way onto TikTok with the introduction of the official MommyOFive channel. It's technically just Heather's channel, but other than that, I know what you're asking, and I don't need to build this up. It's less have the Martins learned their lesson and more when did the other shoe drop? At this time, it was June 2nd, 2021. This was on the official FamilyOFive.com website where Heather Martin finally broke her silence and responded to everything. Starting off with the title, The Truth and Lies of DaddyOFive, How Nick Monroe's Blogs Were Completely False. And I do especially love how they put that in quotes, which definitely doesn't make the title read like she thinks it reads, but okay, I'm nitpicking. Now, she starts the post by expressing her apologies, saying, and you know what? I feel like we should have some contemplative music for this dramatic reading. Quote, "We are so sorry that we every portrayed," yes, I said every, and no, I'm not gonna correct your grammar, Heather. I'm gonna read it like you wrote it, Heather. Let me start again. "We are so sorry that we every portrayed ourselves the way we did. We truly thought we were putting on an innocent show and having fun with our kids. We never in a million years thought it would ever escalate to the level that it did. Certainly not to the point of people thinking we were." She also said that she and Mike are going to live with that the rest of our lives, which is more punishment than any mean comment or tweet you can ever leave. I can't actually tell if this is remorse or just a chance for her to imply that she's the victim of a mean tweet. Oh wait, you know what? Actually, scratch all of that. She doesn't start off her manifesto with those apologies. No, she actually starts it off with this. Quote, "I will say that our system is severely broken, and I do hope that one day I can use our story to become an advocate for children all over the world." Bitch! Can you please tell me on what hemisphere of this planet Earth anyone would think that you should be an advocate for children all over the world? Our system isn't severely broken. It's people like you who severely break laws and strained the system to what it is now. If there weren't people like you doing this to their kids, then we wouldn't have these problems now, would we? Accountability is your friend here. But no, because then, quote, "One thing though I won't do is apologize to the internet. I see so many comment, we don't forget, we don't forgive you. The internet is part of the problem. It gives people who don't actually know you the audacity to think they have a claim to your life. It also gives the people the ignorance to create problems for people that aren't there just because enough people band together." Oh my gosh. Is this the consequences of your actions coming to say hello? Here, Heather, let me fix this for you, okay? I want to apologize for being exploitative, abusive monsters, allegedly, and filming all my exploits for profit and putting it on the internet for millions of people to watch. I am part of the problem and used the internet as a means of glorifying the endangerment of my because I have the audacity to think that it's okay as long as I call it a prank and ask the world to join in on the torment of these who cannot consent and ask me to stop. My videos fueled my own willful ignorance to the fact that have rights, which created problems for their lives, causing people to band together to try and help my victims, aka my kids. There, I think that reads a little better, don't you? Oh, child, I need a whole lot of kitties on my screen to cleanse my palate after all of this. The sweet, sweet little billing department babies. Remember, you can grab your Petty University apparel. It is linked below, and join the community. All are welcome. A couple of Twitter shout outs from my last doc, The Downfall of Brittany Dawn. Oh my gosh, that story is wild and ridiculous. If you haven't seen it, it is linked below. It is one of my favorites. First shout out goes to Courtney Bingham, who says, "The audacity that Brittany has had throughout her entire influencer career just baffled me. I had never heard about her until today through your video. Thank you for always being transparent and bringing the receipts, girl. I love watching your docs. Thank you so much." And I really appreciate that. I know I want to like periodically do topics that you might not necessarily be familiar with, but hopefully, you know, when you tune into a Swoop doc, you're gonna get the digs, the deep dives, all of the information, and hopefully some learning for your own lives and some entertainment along the way, even though the topics could be very heavy. So thank you for clicking on something that you weren't familiar with. That really does mean a lot to me. Second shout out goes to a stoned crone who says, everyone settle down, class is now in session at Petty University. I hope I never graduate, so I'll always be in class. I love that. I love that so much. Yes, you're forever a student, okay? We'll start assigning some doctoral candidates. If you want to be my next Twitter shout out, make sure to follow me on Twitter at SpankyV, linked below, and retweet this video right here. Also, please do hit me up on Instagram, linked in the description. That's where I post most often and respond to a lot of DMs. I am trying to get that account to 100,000. I have been on Instagram forever. I have a goal and a number. I've never set a goal, and so that's my goal. I hope y'all will join me. Be sure to check out Helix Sleep, linked below, and take their sleep quiz and get 25% off the mattress of your dreams with their 100-night sleep trial, and finally get the restful sleep you deserve, honey. The year as of me posting this is 2023. Heather Martin is still on TikTok. Mike and Jake are still posting to YouTube. Mike and Heather's probation ended in 2022, so they're fully within their rights to post once again from a legal standpoint, as long as they don't put their kids in any danger. But should they be able to? It can be argued that everyone deserves a second chance. Mike and Heather did their time, so to speak, so who are we to judge? Except this isn't their second chance. This is their fourth chance, fifth chance, DaddyOFive chances. If you didn't know what you were coming across, the Martin family would now look like your regular run-of-the-mill family vlog. But when you run into official FamilyOFive website or Heather's TikTok, it's a different picture being painted altogether. One that's fully intent on living in the past, cutting open old wounds, trying to clear their names, all while still dragging Cody and Emma and Rose back into a spotlight that they have long since abandoned. This is a family that was removed twice from YouTube, a family convicted not just by the court of public opinion, but an actual court of neglect. Their continued presence on YouTube and TikTok is a testament, in my opinion, to the meaninglessness of actual consequences for so many influencers. No amount of long posts or endless TikToking will change the fact that these people did very real damage on a very real scale. Y'all know I've said it a million times with these types of stories, but it bears repeating. People like this only become popular influencers if there's an audience watching, which means at the end of the day, you have the power to decide who has a platform. No views, no influence, no platform. There are so many creators and influencers with integrity and authenticity out there that there really is no need to engage with harmful, abusive ones. Like, if we don't click, more than likely they don't create, and they'll fade into the place that they really belong. Obscurity, unknown, unimportant, and uninfluential. But you know, when all else fails, stay ready, stay petty, class dismissed. Swoop, 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 swoop. I know y'all kill me if I don't do that.